The girl looked around, saw the horn buckles, and laughed. "You'd have to shoot off a cannon to disturb them." Eugenie sighed. She wasn't up for this. Maybe Homer Flint and his cronies were right. Maybe it truly was time for her to retire. She'd had the same conversation with 4 decades worth of teenagers. Her track record, of course, spoke for itself. She'd steered any number of wayward youth onto the straight and narrow, although lately, not as many as she used to. "Library patrons do not put their feet in the chairs. And please turn down the volume on your CD player. Others may not share your taste in music." The girl bristled. "It's an iPod." "A what?" "An iPod, not a CD player." The scorn in her voice shouldn't have bothered Eugenie. But she was tired of people who treated her as if she was an ignorant civil servant, instead of a well-educated woman with a master's degree in library science. And then she saw the book lying on the table in front of the girl. Knitting for Beginners. Eugenie eyed the girl again. "Do you knit?" she asked, in a slightly kinder tone. Eugenie was a firm believer in productive activities, and if this girl was a knitter, perhaps she wasn't such a lost cause after all. "Huh?" Finally, the girl removed the remaining bud from her other ear. "What did you say?" "Are you a knitter?" Eugenie gestured toward the book on the table. The girl stiffened, her mouth tightening as if she'd bitten into a lemon. "Why do you care?" "Well, if you knit," Eugenie said patiently, "you might be interested in a group that meets the 3rd Friday of every month at the Christian church. The Sweetgum Knit Lit Society. All knitters are welcome." Although she silently wondered just how welcome the other women would make this grungy girl feel. The ties that bound the group were tenuous at best, yet Eugenie managed to hold them together by sheer dint of will. The girl shoved the book away. "I was just looking at it." The angry defensiveness of the girl's reply caught Eugenie off guard. "I merely intended to—" But she stopped herself before she could utter the fateful word. "Help. I merely intended to help." The unfinished sentence lay between them, unspoken, but entirely present. The girl's blue eyes narrowed in her round face. She shoved a hank of dirty blonde hair off her forehead with one hand. "I don't need your help." And then Eugenie heard the telltale rustle of paper from underneath the table. "What's that?" More rustling. The girl's face turned red. "Nothing." Eugenie reached out and took the knitting book. With practiced efficiency, she flipped through the pages. She saw immediately where the little heathen had defaced Knitting for Beginners. "You've ruined it." Disgusted by the jagged edges, where the pages had been ripped from the binding, Eugenie snapped the book closed. "You'll pay to replace it." But despite the iPod, Eugenie had heard they were quite expensive. The girl didn't look like she had enough money to buy a decent pair of shoes, much less replace a hardback book. "I didn't do it. It was already like that." The girl spoke too loudly, not because of her headphones, but because she was lying. Eugenie extended one hand. "The pages, please." The girl stared back, mutinous, before finally giving in. "Here." She pulled the wad of glossy paper from beneath the table and thrust it at Eugenie, who took the pages, glancing down to see what the girl had torn from the book. A pattern for a scarf. Why hadn't she simply checked out the book if she wanted the pattern? "I'll look up the price and let you know what this will cost. There are processing fees in addition to the cost of the book." "It doesn't matter." The girl slumped farther still in the chair. "I don't have any money." "What's your name?" Eugenie asked. "I'll need your parents' name."